This is the Mortgage Breakdown, where Andy Baker and Andrew Clarkson break down everything mortgage.
Wow.
All right. Everybody, here we go.
First time, out the gates.
First show, episode 101, the Mortgage Breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a new podcast video brought to you by Andrew Clarkson and Andy Baker. We're going to discuss, everything mortgage industry related and real estate industry related. And we have a really good show lined up for you today.
Yeah, no, I think this was a long time coming. You and I have worked together in the past, always talked about doing this, and we're finally here. This is it.
Here we are. So let's go. So today, what are we going to talk about? It's January, almost through the entire month. But we're going to talk about the 2020 forecast here. And I know what you're thinking. We're procrastinators, but you know what? I think it's just human nature that it happens this way, okay? So we're going to be able to draw back for, the first part of January to today and really look at this forecast beyond. Anything to add about the, initially with the show?
Yeah, again, what we're really hoping to bring you guys is some relevant content about the mortgage industry, the real estate market in general, how that relates to sales and operations, kind of given our backgrounds, and then how it relates specifically to West Michigan, and hopefully give you guys some insight. There's a lot of different channels out there to get bbinformation. Tons of things come at you. I get 20 emails every morning before I even start the day, just different things. So hopefully what we can do is take some of that stuff, break it down for you, synchronize it, and just give you the cliff notes of it, if you will.
Yeah, so here we go. We're going to start it off right now. Mortgage Breakdown 2020 Outlook. So first thing up, I want to talk about with the 2020 Outlook and the forecast. Let's just get into the Mortgage Bankers Association Outlook, the MBA. Andy, can you talk a little bit about the 2020 Outlook from the point of view of the MBA? I mean, you are a CMB, right. So I think nobody better than you to discuss that.
Yeah, so again, they came out with some of their projections late December, still coming out early January here, but obviously kind of like what a lot of people are hearing, it's a tale of two cities, a tale of two economies. On one hand, you have weak business investment, uncertainty with the China tariffs and the trades, and what's going on all there. But then at the same time, on the flip side of that coin, you have consumer spending and confidence remains through the roof. Household balance sheets remain healthy. The job market's still really tight for some of us that are trying to hire. That's difficult, but for people out there, not a lot of people are looking for a job. A lot of people, are healthily employed. So it's kind of this, mixed thing, where at one point, are we going to have a downturn and a recession, or no? Are we still booming and moving forward? So they did spell that out where, we are expected to see a little bit slower growth in 2020. But again, I think, for the most part, it's going to be a positive economy coming out from what the MBA is saying. They did talk about how the Feds kept rates the same in December and really are going to project to do that throughout the entire 2020, so no movement in rates. So with those short-term rates staying, low or steady, that should hold long-term 30-year fixed mortgage rates pretty steady as well too. I think, we're going to be bouncing around that 4% mark again for all of 2020. They did talk about, obviously, as many of us got to participate in the refinance boom of 2019.
That was awesome.
Still
was
seeing
great.
some of that first quarter here, but more than likely by the end of first quarter, most of that refinance business is going to dry up. Which again, though, if you're prepared for it, it's not a big deal. Shifting into that purchase market money, which again, short inventories like they're saying, but definitely, overall GDP is going to be looking good for the year. So they're talking about $1.9 trillion, just shy of $2 trillion for mortgage originations again for 2020. So.
Wow. So basically, what I'm hearing through the MBA forecast and your explanation of it is that, we're still going to be either, slightly benign growth with the economy or flat, but mortgage business is still going to be, pretty positive, or flat from last year, which was a great year as we all just came off of.
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a flip, I think. First quarter 2019, we saw, very slow mortgage business, and then all of a sudden it picked up, coasted all the way through the end of the year, and now we're going to see the trail end of that first quarter, and then possibly by fourth quarter 2020 we'll start to see that slow down again.
Yeah, so basically for any of the loan officers, loan originators out there today, what does this mean for you? What I really think it means, coming off that mini refi boom that we had at the end of last year, it's kind of like we had to adjust our business a little bit, especially those that were heavily leveraged in the purchase business. You got into doing more refis, taking advantage of the interest rates. The applications were again kind of falling from trees basically. But now going into this year, going back into the purchase business, it's almost like, hey, we need to refocus on establishing ourselves within our local communities, getting with our business partners and really attacking the purchase business, right?
Yep, for sure. And then from an operations side, same kind of thing. We saw very healthy margins again, third and fourth quarter of 2019. That's going to start to go away again. You're going to start to see some of the same margins you saw in 2018, where that's going to be shrinking. So really watching that bottom line, watching staffing, those types of things. Just, again, not necessarily a bad thing, but just to keep in the forefront of your mind so that you know how to propose your business throughout the year.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Let's move on to, the next source here. So I follow Elliot Eisenberg, the Bowtie Economist. Really entertaining guy. He has econ70.com, which is basically a snapshot of the economy in 70 words or less every single day. So if you go to econ70.com, sign up for the newsletter, you can get that daily update. But basically, with Elliot's current outlook for 2020, again, it seems like it's a chiming in of what the MBA is saying. So interest rates are pretty much going to be flat from where they are today, and he sees that happening for at least the next 6 months, if not way beyond that for the rest of the year. Other countries are lowering interest rates right now. We're staying pretty steady where we are. The economy slowing, but very, very, very benign. It's pretty much flat from last year. Job growth, is going to be good. Government spending is okay. Overall slowing of the economy, but really nothing to be worried about at this moment. Inflation is extremely benign as well. So, again, going off of what the MBA is saying, Elliot, for our business, the mortgage industry, basically with those interest rates at, again, historic lows. We've been saying historic lows for a year, but really these are the historic lows that we're in right now. If you are a buyer, you're going to get into a great purchase deal. If you haven't taken advantage of the low interest rates on the refi, now's the time to do it. So really good to get those fence sitters off of their post. Anything to add on that?
Not necessarily on that one too, but I just found it interesting too with all the forecasts this year.
Yeah.
No one's mentioning that it's an election year.
Yeah.
That's usually a hot topic that's really going to push the economy one way or another. It's almost like again, it's that tale of two cities type of thing where no one really knows what's going to happen. So everybody's saying, well, it's not really going to affect either way, kind of a thing.
Which that position, I've never seen that happen before, where the economy is still strong, interest rates are super low, it's an election year, and people aren't even batting an eye at it.
Right, exactly.
So you're absolutely right with that.
It's just interesting.
Maybe something to keep, in the
As we get
background,
closer to November,
aware of it.
I'm sure, yep.
Well, let's go on to NAR, National Association of Realtors. Andy, what are they saying right now? What's their forecast like?
Again, same kind of thing, a little bit slowing in the GDP. Obviously, tight job market again. We have, though, been seeing phenomenal new starts in construction, which will hold on through this year as well, too, they're thinking. But again, too, levels of inventory on real estate is still going to remain low. So definitely, it's going to be an interesting real estate market this year as well, too.
Wow, yeah. And along, one other report out there that we subscribe to, Rob Chrisman report. So if you're not on the Chrisman report, don't get those daily updates, go ahead, sign up for his newsletter. It's a great email rundown of everything mortgage business related. And I'm going to read one line from him. And this was in a recent article that he had in his newsletter. The latest economic data continues to support the narrative of moderate economic expansion for quite some time. Yeah. So I guess a question mark is quite some time, right?
Right.
So when is this roller coaster of, of greatness gonna end? We don't know that. It seems like we're pretty solid for the next 6 months, especially when we get into this purchase market come spring. I mean, if you look at the purchase market, this is one of the best Januaries, locally that we've had.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I was reading a national one today as well too that said like on average, people are profiting like $65,000 on average for selling a home.
That's
like,
crazy.
In the last quarter.
Yeah,
so it's
that's
just
crazy.
It's an amazing time to sell your home, and then obviously with low interest rates, it's an amazing time to buy a home.
And it's only getting better this year too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we are definitely in the Goldilocks economy. We are, very happy as either consumers, purchasers, home buyers, all that good stuff. So, that's the outlook. Let's go on to talking about what does this mean for loan officers and other people that are in, or around the mortgage industry. We mentioned a little bit of it, that, the loan officers, producers, they're going to be able to take advantage of this economy. They're going to be able to take advantage of the purchases that are going to continue to happen this year. Do you think, Andy, is 2020 appearing to be a carbon copy of last year?
Yeah, I really do. Like I had mentioned earlier, I think it's almost going to be like a mirror image where we saw a really slow first quarter in 2019, and then second, third, and fourth quarter were very strong, where this year I think we're going to see first, second, and third quarter very strong, and then trailing off in the fourth quarter, slowing down again.
That makes a lot of sense. So kind of wrapping it up now before we do our outro here, as we say in the business. What do we do now as loan officers? What's the next play for this year for them?
Right. Again, too, obviously, most of that refinance market's going to be drying up. We say it every year, only a handful of you do it, but, make sure you're getting those real estate relationships going. You're out there, you're not waiting until the phone's not ringing to start that. That's where you want to be starting it now. You should have been starting it 3 months ago, but.
Absolutely. I mean, a loan officer, the number one job for a loan officer is being a lead generator. Yep. And I think it starts with being a super connector. You always have to make connections every single day. And again, going into this purchase market, that's going to be hopefully even better than last year, no matter the size, slight or not. It's really time to take advantage of those business partners, those realtors, if you do construction loan, the builders, CPAs, attorneys, whoever it is.
And again, part of this podcast, the reason why we want to do this is to give you information to take to them. Now you have an outlook that you can take with them. You have different sources where you can get that information. You don't want to be, the donut dropper or the rate sheet guy. You want to be able to give them some kind of value-added information that's going to help them in their career as well.
Absolutely. So I want to thank you for the very first episode here. I feel really good about it. Everybody, that was episode 101 of the Mortgage Breakdown. Please leave a comment on this video. Let us know how we're doing. Any content that you're looking for that we really want to bring to you, on this program. So, Andy, anything from you before we sign off?
No, Andrew, thank you so much.
Thank you. That's the Mortgage Breakdown, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Tune in for more breakdowns.